always tell when a streak's going to come to an end. You win a couple of games, you probably shouldn't.
There are teams out there that could use that quality of playoff goaltending. All right, Ray, you ready to do this?
Yep, let's go.
Powered by Reb Media in partnership with TSN, it is season 7 of the Rain Dregs Hockey Podcast, presented by our title sponsor, Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons has kicked off the season with a brand new holiday meal. It's available now until the end of the month, December 30th. When you order any flatbread pizza, plus your choice of a side and a small or medium hot or cold beverage, you also walk away with a free pair of novelty holiday socks. So whether you need something cozy, you want something festive, it's a holiday meal that will warm you from head to toe. So stop by your local Tim Hortons and get yours today. I'm at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, Ray. What a facility.
Legendary.
Yeah. I mean, we're so accustomed for the board meetings, the GM meetings hosted by the National Hockey League. We always end up at West Palm or Boca or something like that in Florida. So, I mean, that's nice. Nothing wrong with looking at the ocean, the sun shining, all of that. This is pretty cool here. Pretty cool. And I didn't know anything about the golf course that's on the property. But holy smokes. I mean, it's snow covered now, but we were talking to Pat Kelleher with USA Hockey yesterday, who lives in Colorado Springs, as you know. And he said the cool thing here is, yeah, there's a bit of snow now, but in a week from now, we're golfing again. They essentially golf 12 months of the year. So Philip Anschutz, the owner of the LA Kings, owns the Broadmoor and has for quite some time. So explains why we're here, Ray.
Yeah, it does. Mr. Anschutz is a pretty terrific guy. I'm sure you've met him somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
When I got traded to the Kings, I met him and Nancy, his wife, and they had just bought the Kings just about a year after I got there. And I don't think they bought them because I was there. I think they had bigger plans. But they, terrific people. They were really, really terrific people. And little known fact: most sunshine days in the United States are in Denver, and so you're pretty close to it. And so, the other thing, you should go play there, whether there's snow or not, because you can hit the ball far in Colorado. It flies because of the altitude. Yes, it goes along.
No kidding.
Doesn't make you better, but it makes you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, well, we're recording this episode of the Rain Dregs podcast on Tuesday morning, and the meetings will wrap up. We'll get to the meetings here, Ray, in the Canadian Brewhouse headlines. Hockey lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Catch every game with beer specials. You've got game day prizes, more, all at the best hockey house in town. See in-store at thecanadianbrewhouse.com for details on what your local brewhouse is up to this hockey season. And we will start with a bit of what was discussed day one of the meetings of the Board of Governors. And Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly of the National Hockey League gave a presentation on the latest goings-on in Italy around the venues, the Olympics. He came out and said, look, there are positive signs, but now I didn't talk to all of the governors or every owner, but I talked to a handful. I mean, concern is a word you could use. Frustrated is another one. Embarrassing was used by a few, only to describe everything that's gone into the planning and the execution, right? Including the fact that they got the ice dimensions wrong. It's not a big deal. It's a bit smaller than an NHL standard rink, but it's not an NHL standard rink. And I guess some of the positive news is that the main arena will be officially tested in January 9, 10, 11, I believe, is the target date for that. Bill Daly says the buildings both are expected to be done completely by February 2nd. But that test event, January 9, 10, 11, that's for all the marbles. Because if the ice isn't good, or they can't keep the ice good, and people don't realize that's what the issue is with that main building. It's not sealed. So, there's air coming in from all corners. I mean, in a typical NHL arena, as you know, it's literally ice cold because they've got the air conditioning units going, the humidity is controlled, all of those things, right? And they're nowhere near being able to do that in Milan right now. So it should fly. Everybody's hoping, of course, but far from a guarantee, and the owners aren't happy.
Well, I mean, it doesn't take much to see why they wouldn't be happy. I mean, the league shuts down for 3 weeks. They've put their business on hold. They get very little. Like the equation is not equal about what the NHL provides to the Olympics and what the Olympics provide to the NHL. Like that's not. I think that needs to be understood as well. It's not really a two-way street because the Olympics
No,
get
it's
everything.
not. Yes.
And so they can't even get out of the starting gate here. I would be more than concerned. I would be really sour that this is going on. Like, wait a minute, we've done. They fought for years about the insurance for the players. They've fought about how can we make this as efficient a process as possible. But the Olympics needs to have a certain number of days for all the events. It's like we think of it as a hockey tournament, but of course it's something far more than that. And the scheduling means that the tournament's, it's 2 weeks. And so it's a major commitment. I can't believe this is even a discussion point. Like it is ridiculous. And it goes to show you in a way the arrogance of the IOC that, oh, we've got it handled. Well, they don't have it handled. Every year they don't, or every Olympics they don't have it handled. Somehow it sort of goes off and it works and we all enjoy the spectacle of it. But it's a mess. It's like they kick over tables in a ballroom, the whole night, and somebody has to clean it up when they get to the starting line. It's a mess. It really is. And I'm guessing, just guessing this is that the other venues need to be completed too. It's not like there's one venue, but we just care about the hockey venue. It's just not. It's not the way it should be. I can imagine they're not happy.
They did test the smaller arena this week. Well, not smaller, the secondary arena. I think there'll be like 6 games played on the additional arena.
I had a thought. Sorry, Dregs. I had a thought last night. If that main rink's not really quite ready to full standard, they're going to redo the schedule, and there's going to be a notice out that goes like to France, and they're going to say, "Hey, don't worry about your 11 p.m. start on Thursday. We're just going to have to run the other rink full time. It's going to be like a beer league. They're going to run start times all over the place. Like what else are you going to do?"
And people don't realize the wear and tear on that ice surface. There's 3 games a day. There's practices. I mean, it literally takes a beating. So that's, again, kind of a sidebar of why there's so much concern. We'll wrap up this, but here's an interesting story. You speak of the IOC and whatnot. So part of the agreement is that the NHL owners each received a package to go to the Olympics. So in this package, I believe there are 2 airfares, executive class. Why wouldn't they be, right? A hotel room. So if it's an individual owner wants to take his wife, fine, perfect. And you get 2 tickets to all of the games. Okay, that's the package. Now, there are some who would want to purchase a secondary package. There are lots of teams have multiple owners, right? So just take a ballpark guess at what the IOC is charging for the package I just described: 2 airline tickets, a hotel, and tickets to all of the men's games.
Oh, to all of the games? That's got to be. Let's see, 300. Oh man, I'm just guessing at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
75,000.
Yeah. See, I said 50, and I thought I would be high. Okay. 225,000 euros. So it works out to about 350,000 Canadian dollars.
So I guess the guys are like, yeah.
They're
beat
like,
it.
A couple of the guys that mentioned it to me, they're like, Like, where is that money going? Like, they obviously don't want us there. Who's going to pay that? I mean, these guys are wealthy men. They're billionaires, but still, there has to be a little bit of rationale to some of these expenditures.
So, but the best part, the thing I like best about that package is the tickets are for every game. Like an NHL owner from pick a city is going to go watch 3 hockey games a day.
Yes.
For 2 weeks.
Happening.
Not happening. Come on. Nobody's doing that. Well, the whole thing's ridiculous in several forms, and we all are hooked in and watching it. I mean, Dregs, are you going, by the way?
I'm not. No, didn't make the cut.
So so I'm not either. And so, like, I'm not watching every game, but I'm watching lots of stuff. Like, so if somebody offered me hey, you got tickets to every game, what am I going to do with that? If I'm going to I don't want to go to a hockey tournament. If I'm going to the Olympics, I want to see some other stuff. So,
sure.
Well, good for the old IOC. They always seem to do well there somehow.
I know you're tired of talking about this, but we as media keep reporting on Quinn Hughes and the situation with the Vancouver Canucks. More speculation reporting on the weekend. Quinn more or less responded to it in a very Hughes-like fashion, describing the general manager of the New Jersey Devils, Tom Fitzgerald, as Fitzy. I mean, which is a bit interesting, player and another team's general manager, but they would know each
Dregs,
other. So
honestly, you don't find that interesting. You don't, because it's not. If anyone knows Tom Fitzgerald and they've met him more than once, I tweeted this yesterday.
It's Fitzy.
It's Fitzy. He's corrected reporters who work they cover the Devils, and I had a couple that tweeted back that when they introduced themselves, they said, "Hi, Tom," and he said, "Yeah, call me Fitzy." And then the next day, when they saw each other, he reintroduced himself as Fitzy. Like, it's not interesting. I get, like, he called the other general manager or the other president by his first name too. Why didn't he call them
Jim.
both Mr.? Why didn't he call him Mr.?
Yeah.
Like, come on. You don't. I don't look. The trade rumors are the trade rumors because it's a huge story. Because he's a fabulous player, and it's a really important moment around the Canucks, but B, around the league. And everything is going to get microscope looked at.
Oh, yeah.
But this, to me, this is nothing. It's got nothing to do with it. I bet you he wouldn't say, "Oh, Jim talked to Yzerman." He'd say, knowing Quinn, as I do a little bit, he would say he talked to Stevie Y. Is that familiar, or is that what everybody calls him?
Yeah,
and everybody calls him publicly that.
Yeah. He'll get to a place, I think, and it's not in his character, Quinn Hughes, where he just shuts it down. I'm the captain of this team. I'll talk about the Vancouver Canucks. I'll talk about the game. I'll talk about just about anything else. I'm not addressing any more speculation moving forward.
He already has. He's spoke enough, and that's where it sits. And how quickly this all moves along, or how quickly it doesn't move along. I know there's a little bit of people talking or discussing, I guess, they got to do this quickly, or they should wait a little bit.
Sure.
The time to do it is when you have the deal you're most comfortable with. Yeah. And if that's in a week, then you do it in a week. If it's not for 8 weeks, you don't do it for 8 weeks. Like everybody's playing a little bit of poker here.
Yeah.
Because while everybody, I assume, would at least check in, there's probably only a few teams that would be serious contention.
Right. What are you seeing in the New Jersey Devils? Not unlike a lot of clubs, just the way this season is playing out, with how close it is throughout the standings. Teams have highs and teams have lows. And right now, whether it's the adversity of injury that the Devils always seem to be in the mud with, or they're just not playing good hockey. I mean, they've lost 5 in a row. They're struggling right now.
Yeah, 3 goals in their, 5 goals in their last 3 games. They've been shut out a couple of times. Like, they look lost right now, and certainly Jack is critical to the way that they play and how they provide offense, and then when he's not there and it filters all the way down through their, everybody gets used a little bit differently, and it just for them right now they look lost. They should be not they should be better than this, than the streak that they're in. I'm sure to a certain extent there's a little bit of unsettledness around Quinn Hughes in New Jersey too.
Sure, there would
right?
be.
Like I did the game last night in Vancouver, and I'm watching Quinn play against Detroit, and I'm like, there's probably some unsettledness around the Detroit Red Wings too. Like
Which one of you guys is part of this?
Yeah, or there were guys in that game. If Detroit and Vancouver were to make a deal, there's at least a couple of guys that were in that game last night that are going the other way. Like, it's not a comfortable time at all. If you're a player that can be mentioned even in the periphery of one of those deals, you start to think it's you.
Yeah.
And then everything starts to shift underneath you a little bit. You're not quite as comfortable. And I think it has a factor for Quinn and the Canucks. I mean, he doesn't have a point in 5 games. I think that's the first time in his career. And for the teams that might be involved, I think it's uncomfortable.
What are you seeing in his game? Like, is he trying too hard? Like, is he taking on too much? Thinking, all right, well, I can look up the middle of the ice and see how poor we are. We just don't have any depth in that position. Other areas of concern. So it's on me now. I've got to try and do more. And sometimes it goes the opposite direction.
I think that was probably a little bit ago, like a couple of weeks ago to maybe just this week. I thought the last couple games he's played better and more controlled. I thought he was running around trying to do everything for about 3 weeks, and it just doesn't work. The other guys are too good. No matter how good you are, the other guys are too good. And he looked a lot more settled. He doesn't have a point. He had, like, last night, easily could have had 3 points. Like, DeBrusque hit a crossbar. Sherwood, I think, had a deflection that went through Gibson and didn't go in. Like, there were at least 3 last night. I think he's been fine, but I do think that if a deal is made, I mean, just like the weight goes away, right?
Yeah.
I think probably everybody expects that.
Big win for the Toronto Maple Leafs on Monday night. They beat a division rival in the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-0. So now, again, just to illustrate, and this is a big topic here of conversation among the governors and the owners, is just how tight things are. You lose a couple of games, you drop, obviously. You win a couple of games, you're right back into the playoff mix again. And Toronto certainly illustrates that. I mean, with that win, they're 2 points out of second place in the Atlantic, but they're still 2 points out of a wild card spot with that 2-0 win. Do you recall, and I think we almost have to touch on this podcast by podcast because it doesn't seem to change, and we're 30 games into the regular season. Do you recall another time where the tightness virtually from top to bottom has been sustained to this degree?
Not like this. As I mentioned, the Red Wings were in Vancouver last night, and James Van Riemsdyk did an interview. By the way, he's amazing. He scored again. Yeah. He scored again last night. He scored from 3 feet in front of the net. He made a really nifty play to score. Like, he made some good plays in the game, and I'm like, man, he doesn't need a whole lot of ice time, and he gives you a contribution. He plays on your second power play, and I'm like, he's really good, quite amazing. So they've got the number 1 and number 2 picks of the 2007 draft in the lineup. Like, him and Patrick Kane. It's like hilarious. It's 18 years later. Like, how are these guys? Like, it's pretty awesome. So, anyways, he mentioned after the game that they were at one point at the bottom of the division. They won a couple games, and then they were second. And now they're like, I think they're, where are they now? Like, I lost track. I think they might be a point out of the division lead. And like it's, or they drop one and then they move back they're in the playoffs again. It's just impossible to keep track of. And it must make
Oh,
um, managing a team really difficult to understand exactly what you are.
yeah.
Like, are you any good? Are your holes so bad that eventually they're going to catch you, so you have to fix them? Or are you the same as everybody else? And
Yeah.
we just, it's just going to, like, John Gibson gave them tremendous goaltending last night. The Canucks lost two of the
Looked like
last
it,
three
yeah.
games. They've lost two of the last three games. They should have won them both. Vamelka was awesome on Friday. He looks like an unmade bed in there for Utah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he he was fantastic. And Gibson he was 36 saves last night. He was just locked in. And
Yeah.
even when the puck beat him, like DeBrusk hit the crossbar, one kind of wobbled through him, and nothing. He was terrific. If
Yeah.
Detroit gets goaltending from one or the other or both, they're going to have to mix and match with Gibson and Talbot. Then they're going to be a pretty dangerous team. They got a lot of talent.
Bumped into George Peros, the head of the player safety department for the National Hockey League here at the Broadmoor yesterday. And he's just like, yeah, going into the meeting. No, it's just kind of ho-hum, just one of those years, talking about the standings and how great the hockey is, this, that, and the other thing. And I always chirp and say, well, you haven't suspended anybody in a while, so, it's nice. It's pretty calm waters for you. And he goes, I know, it's been great. So that was the full-in jinx, because in that Toronto-Tampa Bay game, there was some nasty stuff that occurred. Gage Gonzalez got a major penalty for, it essentially is kneeing Dakota Mermis, right? So he gets tossed from the game. The Department of Player Safety has not and won't invite him to a hearing for further supplemental discipline. However, as part of the melee after that hit, Bobby McMann gets the match penalty for, what do you want to call it? A slash? It looks like a chop to the head of Oliver Bjorkstrand. Now, he was reacting to a cross-check, but that fits into the category, the headline of you can't do that. Right. So Bobby McMann gets the hearing, and the Leafs aren't too happy about it. They don't necessarily think that it's warranted, especially considering Gonzalez got away with the knee on knee. So,
okay, so what makes them surprised? like what this? I always view this through this lens. If it was the other way around, would the Leafs say, "Oh no, that should be fine"? No, they'd be furious. You cannot hit somebody with your stick in that fashion. It doesn't matter if the defense is, well, our guy got cross-checked. Well, too bad. Too bad. That's the way it goes. If it's that the other guy need our player, well, he got a major penalty and he got a game misconduct. It's already been dealt with. Like, there's just no defense to this. And I don't know what's a suspension for this? I can't even think of when's the last time somebody Paul Bunyan'd another player. He hit his stick was over his own head.
Yeah,
right?
Not the same.
Go ahead.
We saw the wicked one in the Ontario Hockey League earlier this year, and that kid. It's not the same. I'm not making that comparison, but that kid was exiled. He's not playing hockey again this year. So I don't know. It feels like for Bobby McMann, what do you think? A game or two? Does that seem about right?
Well, I think it should be more than one. I'm always wrong, literally always wrong, because as I say, I think they should suspend more, not less. But in my mind, it's got to be a couple anyway. Again, I think part of suspending is to say, here's the message to the rest of the league. And the message would be, your stick cannot be a weapon. That's the message. And if you think you can do that in 2 games, sure. If it's 3 games, that's probably, you're at the outlier or the outside of it, but I don't think it's I think it should be more than one. I mean, that's my thought.
Yeah. Let's wrap up the Canadian Brewhouse headlines with just an overarching thought here, because, again, once the meetings wrap up, you do have time to connect with some of the governors and the owners and whatnot. And they're all super fans for the most part, but knowledgeable, educated hockey men. And one of the takeaways for me was the cream of the crop and who these men view as the best. And it doesn't always relate to the standings, right? It can relate to, I don't know, how one team manages the salary cap better than another team, which, results in a healthier roster, a roster that delivers all of those things. And it sounds like, again, this isn't an official poll of these men by any stretch of the imagination, but the cream of the crop will shock no one. It starts with Colorado and then Dallas. Colorado, Dallas are the, and I mean, obviously they're the top two teams in the National Hockey League right now, but it's more about how they've been built, they've been managed, and how they coached and how they execute on top of all that. Because everybody complains about how condensed the schedule is, but it's the same thing for all 32 teams. So maybe you get lucky because you dodge some injury bullets along the way. But is that an easy agreement? Okay, Dallas is a great team and Colorado is too.
I was just thinking, what if two other teams were at the top of the standings? Would it be them?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
I think it's more longevity. It's more longevity and how those two teams. Yeah.
So you if you look at Colorado, they've had an amazing run here. But it was about 7 or 8 years ago. When Jared Bednar got hired, when Patrick Waugh quit, they had 55 points. Like, they were terrible. They were terrible. And they got McKinnon in the draft. They got Makar Makar, well, he was playing junior A hockey. He was drafted 4th. They got franchise changing players. And then they got Landeskog. Was he number 1 in the draft? Landeskog, 1 or 2?
So.
And it was 1 or 2 anyway. And so now there's 3 guys that are picked in the top 5 of the draft. They get Nichushkin after he went back home to Russia. He was number 10 in his draft. Yeah. So they have Dallas is the same thing. Like, they one draft in 2017, they got Ottinger, Robinson, and Heiskanen. Like, they changed their franchise in one draft. And so I always think it's never one thing. You mentioned a couple of different layers, whether it's a salary cap or ownership providing for the management to scout and to have facilities and for the the practice facilities and all this stuff. Like, it and luck is critical to it. Like, last year, I think Colorado used 48 players last year, and this year it's pretty much just the 23 that they have. They have had a couple of injuries. They haven't had O'Connor this year, and Brindley's hurt right now, but they haven't had to cycle through players like other teams have. And it's I think it's lots of things, but those are two teams that are committed. Their owner commits resources to the management to do their job, like lots of owners do, but these ones seem to have it pretty much dialed in right now.
Yeah, and you're right. Landeskog was drafted overall in 2011. But just to wrap this up, I spent a little time with Tom Gaglardi, the owner of the Dallas Stars, and he's one of my favorite people. He's
a funny guy.
Gregarious guy, right? And smart as hell. Like, he's just, obviously. But he reminded me, because he was one of the guys that I talked to about the cream of the crop, right? And he doesn't want to, he's one of the owners, he doesn't like taking any credit. He doesn't. He's like, what do I do? But then you do a deeper dive on the Dallas Stars, and what do you see? You see that Gaglardi hired a very successful manager in Jim Nill with a rich history with the Detroit Red Wings, right? Pretty good organization back in the day, right? And then a
Yep.
cast of scouts, Ray. You look at, again, a good chunk of the scouting department of the Dallas Stars originates from the Detroit Red Wings.
Well, they came
why wouldn't you
with
do
Jim,
that?
right? Yep,
Yes.
they came with Jim,
Yeah.
right? And they've drafted incredibly well. They had enough capital to make the deal with Carolina to end up with Mikko Rantanen. There always seems to be another player or two. Like, where did they get this guy from? Oh yeah, they drafted him. Like they're really and you know Jim quite well.
Yeah.
I've known Jim for a long time, Jim Nill, and he's a very steady, very calm, very thoughtful about what he does. He's actually an interesting mix with Tom, because Tom has got like so much energy and he's so much like a bigger than life sort of guy. And Jim just kind of like just sails his way through. It's like it's a really good mix they have there. But they're, you started with the scouting department, and they've been really good for a long time. And sometimes sometimes you get on a roll, and then eventually, don't forget, at one point the well goes dry. Your picking hand goes cold, and they haven't had that. They haven't missed too many times. It's been pretty impressive.
It has been. All right, those are your headlines. Thank you to the Canadian Brewhouse. We'll take a run at Ask Ray and Dregs Anything later in the week on Thursday when we reconvene for Ray and Dregs. You can send us your thoughts, questions if you have them, to us on X or Instagram at Ray and Dregs. But it's time for the Tim's Hockey Challenge, Ray.
Oh, we should get right to it today.
Sabunia. Yeah, right to it, Zuby. Let's bring Zuby.
Oh, but we should. Like, this is what I'm looking forward to, I think.
Yeah. He's the moderator for this segment. Yes.
It should be, because you guys are hot. It's a tale of two stories here, isn't it? Of two cities. One city would be Ray and Dregs each going 2 for 3.
It is the best of times, eh? It is the best of times.
Yes, that's right. You guys were both helped out by some Maple Leafs, I believe. Matthew Nyes.
Yep.
Dregs, you had Austin Matthews. Is that correct?
I believe I did, yes.
Yeah, so you guys helped out by some Leafs. You both went 2 for 3 on the 4th. That moves Dregs still atop the standings, 18 for 48, 450 points. Ray, 16 for 48, 400 points. Right there. That could be made up in a couple of days. Shager, it's the worst of times now. We've officially, he's been lapped. Dregs, you've lapped him. You have 18 correct in this span. He's got 9. So it's officially
okay. That is outrageous. Zuby, you're way too polite. That is outrageous. How, like, what is he doing? Like,
not watching a lot of hockey.
Holy, like he's got 9
out of 48. That's tough to take. I haven't calculated that percentage, but at a quick glance,
you can't. If you do, you fail out of grade 3 math. You're out.
I know.
We should run an exercise here on a separate day, maybe even for a couple of weeks or a month, where we close our eyes and just tab the submissions.
Dregs, I was thinking I'm gonna see if I can, like, for the next week, if I can get Luca, my 2-year-old grandson, to point to 3 names and see if I can I'll take Luca's picks and put them head to head against Rashad and just see what we come up with. I think Luca can get it done.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And who do you guys like tonight? Because this is there's a big lineup of games here tonight. So who are you guys looking at for this evening?
I got Gensel. I know I picked him. Who else did I know I got Jackson Blake. And I can't think out of the second bucket who I took there.
Well,
Man, it was so long
was
ago.
The second, but he's kind of he's a really good choice in that second one. So who's your big star out of the first one?
Well, that shows you where I did that like 30 minutes ago, so I should be able to remember it. Did I not tell you, Zuby? I'm blaming you now.
Yeah.
Well, I think you might have said McDavid, or did Dregs say McDavid?
Oh, that's right. No, that's it. He's been on a decent roll. So, well, he kind of always is, but that was my first pick.
So therein lies the problem, though, right? Because I took McDavid obviously first. The only difference we have is you take Gensel in the second pool, and Drake Batherson for me has been. He was like the early days
all
of
the
Shane
time.
I take him all the time.
Yes,
and he hits for me. So I have McDavid, Batherson, and Jackson Blake. So two of the three same dudes. I don't know. Could be a tough one.
Tough to climb up there, but we'll see. We'll see. Who you got, Zuby?
I took Kyle Connor out of the first group. Winnipeg's struggling. Hopefully they can find some goals. He'd be the guy to do it. So I got Kyle Connor. I went with Gensel. It was definitely between Gensel and Batherson in that second one. And in the third one, a bit of a homer pick, Vasily Podkolzin. I like his game. He's got
you got out of the third bucket. That's a good pick.
Yeah, go off his backside or his shin or something like that.
Didn't you see the Draisaitl one-timer he scored on the other night? That is like it's rubbing off on him. He's figured it.
Yeah,
he's figured out how to do it. So.
That's how it works, Zuby. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's right.
If it did, I would have stood next to a 50-goal scorer all day and just kind of rubbed shoulders up against him.
Good stuff, Zuby. Thank you.
Fellas.
Thanks, Zuby.
All right, there's your Tim's Hockey Challenge, Ray. What's the week look like? You had a Canucks game on Monday. What's shaking down for you this week?
Home today. I'm flying to Denver on Wednesday. Wednesday for Florida on Florida, Colorado on Thursday. And then Dregs, I get home Friday, and I am done until December 27th.
It doesn't get much better in our business than that.
You know what? I loved doing the World Junior. You know how much I love doing that.
Yeah,
tournament.
you did. Yeah.
And when I stepped away, I thought, oh man, it's going to be hard. And I miss it, except when you're sitting on your couch, like with my family and the grandkids now, and my kids are back. And I'm really lucky this year that this is just how the schedule turned out. And so I'm going to enjoy the holiday. When are you flying home?
I might pass you at the airport. In fact, I fly home Wednesday afternoon on a 1:30 to Tirana. And then we've got a Leaf Regional game on, I guess it's San Jose in Toronto on Thursday. And then it kind of might head out to the Cabbage for a few days, middle of the month here next week. Yeah.
I bet you that's it. I'm guessing that somehow your pregame show on Thursday will have something to do with Macklin Celebrini and the Olympic team.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's going to be a big part of it for sure. Yeah. All right.
By the way, next week, I believe, are we not picking our Olympic team, the Ray and Dregs Olympic team?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we got to get on that. So if you have some spare time this weekend, let's block some time and get her done.
I'm going to pick McDavid. Okay, I'll just give you one little tip. I got McKinnon too.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good, bud. We'll check in on Thursday.
Enjoy. Travel safe, and maybe we'll pass you in the airport.
Maybe.
See you at the Starbucks at B47. Okay. have a safe couple days, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Yes, and thank you to our sponsors who continue to support the Rain Dregs Hockey Podcast. Tim Hortons, our title sponsor, thank you, and thank you to the Canadian Brew House. Until next time, stay safe, everybody.